Welcome back to Spectation Sports. We're going to be looking ahead to the Attitude MMA card going down this Saturday. I'm joined by my co-host, Adam Martin. Adam, how are you today, man?
Doing good, James. Glad to be back with you, man, here on Spectation Sports, guys. We do have the Attitude MMA fights card. I do want to mention, James, this is not a professional MMA card like we have been covering. This is amateur MMA, guys, so the rules will probably be a little bit modified. Also, no betting odds will be out for this card, James, because it is amateur. It's not a professional fight, so that's just something to keep in mind. But there's 6 fights. We'll talk about them with you guys. I know James has also done a few interviews, if I'm not mistaken, with a couple of the headliners. So maybe you can mention that at the end or something. But I'm
definitely will. Yeah, we'll get into the main event a little bit later. But let's start first in the featherweight division. We've got Miles Brown taking on Zach Bishop. Miles Brown 0-1 as an amateur. Zach Bishop 1-1. What can you tell us about this fight, Adam?
I mean, let's be honest. There's not a lot to know about both these guys. Like, they only have 1 fight or 2 fights in Bishop's case. And you know, one guy hasn't fought in 2 years, James, Miles Brown. That to me is like, if I have to pick, yeah, exactly. Like, it's just a layoff, and the other guy recently fought and got a knockout win. So I know that's like basic level fight analysis, guys, but there really isn't much on these guys. Like, they have 1 amateur fight. It's not like there's 20 fights on YouTube that I can watch. You know what I mean, James? So I would lean a little bit towards what's it called? Yeah, Bishop in this fight, just because he did have a recent win. What will you?
And yeah, he's coming off a win. I don't know how the verbal tap happened. I'm assuming by submission with the guy with Miles Brown losing there. So I will go Zach Bishop as well, just due to activity. Let's keep it moving here in the middleweight division. We've got Dylan Weinmiller taking on Alan Weems. Alan Weems with 7 amateur fights. Actually, one of the most experienced. He is the most experienced fighter. One of the most experienced, I should say, on this card. Who are you liking in this one, Adam?
Yeah, I'm thinking Weems, James. He does have all that experience. And also, like, some of these fights he's had early, like when he fought Bobby Fales, that was a light heavyweight, right? So he's fought at middleweight now 2 fights in a row. And I think that's probably the better weight class for this guy, whereas he was at 205 before. Weinmiller, James, only 1 amateur fight and he lost it, right? So, like, really, what can you take away from that? At least the other guy has 7 amateur fights. Again, not a great record of 4-3 by any means, but does have some experience. I would lean towards Weems a little bit in this one. What were you?
Same here. And should mention that Weinmiller's fight was actually back in February. She's only had just 1 fight this year. Now jumping back into the Shark Tank, so to speak, against a 7-fight vet. I will definitely take Weems on this one. Let's move it along. Welterweight division. Brandon Mosley taking on Drew Krogiart. I think that's how you say it. But Krogiart is undefeated at 2-0. Mosley 1-3. I'm going with Krogiart here. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I think you got to take Drew Krogiart here, because the other guy, again, 3 straight losses, hasn't fought in over 2 years. This one, I think, is pretty obvious what the promoter's trying to do here. Remember, this is not the UFC. They don't have elite athletes going against each other every fight. They want to build stars in this promotion, right? And young guys coming up and stuff. So to me, Kroger coming off 2 straight wins, James, in that Summit FC promotion, which I know you've interviewed some guys from that promotion. A lot of good fighters coming out of there. The other guy hasn't fought in 2 years. I'm going with Kroger, man. I think he might finish this guy. I think he finishes him.
I agree. Let's go to the lightweight division. Jonathan Williams and Benjamin Joseph. This might be the best best fight, I should say, outside of the main event. We've got a 5-2 record here for Williams, 3-0 for Joseph. I like Williams in this fight. Again, off experience here, 7 straight wins, although he is coming off 2 straight losses. Which way are you going in this one?
Yeah, this one's tough. So I do have an article coming out on this fight over at Spectation Sports this week. I mean, this one's an interesting fight, James, I would say, because Williams does have all that experience, 7 fights as an amateur. But again, 2 straight losses, right? So he doesn't have momentum coming into this fight, whereas Joseph, he does have 3 straight wins, hasn't fought in a while, which does worry me. Hasn't fought in a year and a half, James. I mean, that's a long layoff. I guess I'll go the other way with you on this one. I will take.
We got to disagree here eventually.
Yeah, I'll take Joseph in this one. It's we're not going to pick all the same guys in all these fights, guys. Not like we're trying to do anyways. But I'll go with Joseph here. I think he's got a little bit more momentum. I'm looking at Williams too. He also hasn't fought in a year and a half, so the layoffs should kind of cancel each other. I'll take the guy with 3 straight wins against the guy with 2 straight losses.
The co-main event, we have the welterweight title on the line. It's going to be Danny Barlow taking on Dontail Henson. Henson is 3-6, Barlow 5-1. You can kind of see where they're going with this here. And I'll just take Barlow for the simple fact that his nickname, Adam, is Left Hand to God. So
amazing, right?
That alone is a reason to pick him. But you can see what the promoter's doing here. 5-1 guy, likely looking to go pro here soon. Taking on a guy who's 3-6. I'm going to go with Barlow in this one.
Absolutely. And it's not like, Henson's got some experience fighting for some decent promotions like Pyramid Fights and stuff. I know you know some guys from there. A lot of those amateur guys from, I think it's in Alabama or Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Interesting fight, but I got with Barlow, just because, again, that nickname, no, I'm kidding. Just because it's pretty clear what the pros are trying to do here. I really do think they're trying to get this guy a win. And like you said, maybe go pro after this. So I expect I'll go Barlow by stoppage, James.
Main event, Petera Wilson taking on Bobby Fales. That's right. I didn't say that wrong. His last name is Fales. 36 years old for Bobby Fales. 1-0 as an amateur, taking on Petera Wilson, who's 3-1. Both former college football players. Petera Wilson, the younger guy, 3-1. You can see what they're doing here with the matchmaking. They want Wilson to, be the next big thing. I'm actually going to be speaking to him again. I already interviewed him earlier, but, we've seen a lot of successful college football players make that transition to MMA, including Eric Anders and, so many others. So, really excited to see Wilson. I'm taking him in this fight. I think he wins by knockout. It's a heavyweight fight. Gotta like the younger guy in this one. Even though Bobby Fales is a very game opponent, you can check that interview out here on the YouTube channel. But he's up for the challenge. But I like Wilson in this one.
Yeah, Wilson, much younger fighter, 12 years younger. I mean, that to me right there is why I'm going to pick him, because Fales, 36 years old, amateur, only one fight as an amateur too, year and a half ago at light heavyweight. So he's moving up to heavyweight, taking on, like you said, a good prospect who comes from an athletic football background. You can see what's going to happen in this fight, James. I'd like, first round knockout, James, probably in the first minute. I think you could maybe, if he just takes him down, just pounds him out with ground and pound, the guy might tap the strikes. I could see that happening too. I think it's a mismatch.
You can watch this card on Spectation Sports this weekend. You can also check out all of Adam's coverage and my video interviews here on this channel as well. I got interviews with both fighters in the main event as well. I'm James Lynch. He's Adam Martin. We'll see you soon, and thanks so much for watching.